Hi guys, I want to go with you today. Um, some of the stocks that we went through like last week. So some of the names are going to be the same. Again, before I get started, the disclaimer, as you can see, this is just for an educational purpose, and these are not recommendations to buy or sell equities or any investment products. So please consult your own financial advisors before proceeding. And also learn to trade responsibility if you ever make any kind of positions here or initiate any positions to talk to your financial advisors about it. Okay, so let's get started. Couple of things what I did during this week was I extended this watch list that I'm currently having, and I'm also doing something bit more. I'm also adding the sectors that I'm watching. So before I get started with the ticker symbol, I think it's better to start with the sectors because I believe these are the sectors that I will be actively watching. Biotech sector. The reason why I watch sectors is basically it gives me an idea of what sectors that I really need to play. So you can always look for a sector by typing in or like looking up in Google, and you can do a Google search on the different sectors out there, and you can directly come in and enter the symbol here, or you can do to go to Finviz and check the sectors out individually there. But like it'll give you an overall performance on a weekly basis. I don't do that generally. I do it sometimes, but I feel like it's better to type it in and check it out, check the charts out. So I'm watching biotech sector, and it seems like it's broken out. So what does this hint you? This hints you that you can actively participate in some of the biotech names if you know some of the actively participating ones in this particular ETF. One way to do that is by just checking the XBI holdings. So when you check this out, probably you might want to go and check in. These might not be the updated ones, but you will get an idea of what it contains, this particular sector. You can see here, you can click on the holdings, so you can have a clue over here, like what are the actively, these are always going to be actively managed by the fund. So sometimes this might be 2.91%, sometimes it'll be just 1%. So they keep balancing it. So it's up to you to go in and do your own research. So let's type in Clovis and see if this is a good stock. I know this is a good stock because it has broken out, but I haven't added this to my watch list. But I'm just saying this is the way how you will know about, like, what sectors to participate or what stocks to play in. The other one could be EXEL. Uh, I'm not familiar with this company in particular, but you can see what I mean by the general trend now, right? Like you can see the stocks that are breaking out. And what you can do is you can probably add these things to your watch list and take it from there. But I'm not doing it right now. I'm not watching these stocks actively, but I'm watching this sector, ETF, XPI. So if I wanted to initiate a position, rather than individually initiating on these stocks, probably I might initiate a small position over here after seeing some consolidation. I will look and do some more research on the stocks before I put it on this list. So right now I'm not. That's the reason. And also another place to look for good stock ideas is to go through the some other professional websites like investors.com or saks.com. You can also check Gorilla Trades. There are so many other well-known ones out there. So if you are subscribed to that, you can get some good stock tips, but doesn't mean that you should go ahead and place your bets on those names. So XBI is a sector that I'm watching, biotech sector. Then financial sector is also another sector I'm watching too. um, See, the trend is generally up. It's not broken out. I was under the impression it would have broken out here on this particular date, but it didn't happen. But as per the rules, RSI is well above 50. It did bounce back. It held on today and it did bounce back. And it's above the moving averages, which is nice. Uh, you can probably, after a day or two, see how the stock reacts in this area. Probably it will need more consolidation. and then I believe it will probably break out. And this is a financial sector, and you can look names under this sector to which all are the banks or the companies that will be participating in this wave. So that's a financial sector. Just like how I showed you how to check the biotech ETF holdings, you can do the similar thing there. And next one I wanted to go through was a small cap. This is something which I'm actively participating in also, IWM. So the reason why I participated this was I ended somewhere around, I believe it was 142 or 141 something, but I am playing this name using a leveraged index. So leveraged index is something which leverages 2 or 3 times more than the current um, index returns. So if it is zero point 0.12 here, if I play 3x, it'll give me 0.48. So I ended this somewhere around here only 58, I believe. 58. But it didn't break out, so unfortunately I just had to hold on to it. It did go up slightly, but I didn't take my profits because my aim is not to scalp this. I think the small cap is a sector which is tend to go higher based on what I'm seeing because it's nicely above 50, the RSI, and the 20 and all the moving averages are also right intact. It didn't break down. You know, in these in the previous months they did try to each time it did try to break down, it held on to this, which is a good sign of strength. And again, it was able to hold on in here, and I think it's trying to box out of this and break out. And breakout doesn't mean it needs to happen today or tomorrow. It can take some more time before, and then it will be a breakout. And I'm expecting this to hit probably 60 or maybe 64. 64 maybe, yeah, somewhere around that. So it all depends on, like, if the earning seasons are going to do, this sector small caps can do because they have a lot of catching up to do. The third one which I wanted to watch was the um, power share, QQQ, which is nothing but holding most of the technology, and I believe this would do hold some biotech and some growth names in it also. It's not just um, you know plain technology. It does hold other names. Let's check it out today if it is having if you see here, let's see the profile. See, they have large cap growth equities also involved, so that means it is not purely technology. It has all the other names also involved. So I'm looking for this one because if QQQ doesn't participate in the market or a rally, right? If its trend breaks down, if it is not actively participating, it's not a good sign at all. So you really want to look out for these. If this fails, most of the growth stocks that we are looking at, or the momentum stocks that we are looking at, generally it doesn't do well. So right now the trend is still intact. It's above or closer to 20-day. It's definitely above 50, which is a key point. And it's about 200, which shows the strength is there. But the RSI is weakening here, which is worrisome. But let's see if it will hold this 50. This point is very crucial. Maybe it can dip little below and bounce back, but you really do not want to see the RSI moving down at the same time. Price action also falling. So that's something. This sector depends on all the stocks, most of the growth stocks that we are watching on this list. So okay, let's go now. I'm still um, not going to say that this is in a bad area right now. It's just like it's consolidating, which is very good on the long run. So let's see some of the stocks today which are repeated from the past. So how far or how has it done overall? Let's look at Nvidia. This has been spoken from last week. We are still keeping an eye on it, and I'm still actively participating on it. Although I made my entry initially around 157 or 158, I'm still in it. I'm not planning to get out of this because it's still holding the 20-day moving average. And the stop loss is like around 8%, 7 to 8%, and maybe 9%. But since the trend is still intact, I'm still going to give it some more room. But I'll definitely follow the rules if it's going to break down. Maybe somewhere there is a possibility this can break down and still bounce back, but the trend overall it's still holding on. So even if it breaks down, this is another key support that I'm watching, which is around closer to 141. But I will not be watching till here. If it breaks down, probably this particular moving average, maybe 20 moving average. If it breaks down anything below here and comes back here and breaks below this, which is yesterday's low, I believe it is around 149 or so, which is like 148.3. If it goes below this, I'm out. Definitely I'll be out. But I'll participate back in it if it bounces back. And RSI here is also weakening, even though it's above 50, it is still a good sign. But sometimes it has the tendency to test its RSI also around 50. So we have to watch it and see overall how it's going to perform. That's one stock in my list. The other stock was Arista Networks, which I said I missed when it broke out over here last week, Friday. But guess what happened? Today it's consolidating and it broke down. So maybe this is a good buy somewhere around here. Um, I'm still watching on it. I haven't initiated a position because I have just initiated a new position today in a new stock, and also I do not have much purchasing power to get involved with this name at the moment. The next one is but this is a good stock to keep an eye on. It's, so again, it's still consolidating the same region which I purchased the stock in. So nothing much happening here. It did bounce back today to 127, which I was hoping that's going to start breaking out from today onwards, but it didn't happen, like you can see here. Instead, it came back all the way. So I'm still watching on it. The trend looks good, but the RSI is the problem here again. It's weakening. So let's see how it reacts. Will it bounce or will it be, going down? So let's see. Overall, the trend is still intact. No major issue. Consolidation is always a good sign, but breakdown is not. So that's one of the other stocks which we have been holding for a long time and watching actively as well. Light. This is something which I could have easily taken my profits on today again. It went $3 higher from my point of entry, which was like I think 62 something. But that's not the intention here. Our aim was to for it to break above 68. That's the watch the price here around 67, 68, and then I break above that. You can probably close your position if you have already made closer to a good amount. You can obviously take the profit, but I'm thinking it's going to break out of this side. But the reason why I'm saying here is maybe it'll consolidate again after touching the resistance. So we need to really watch out for this. Or the more consolidation it happens, then I think it's going to definitely break out above 68. So this is something which we need to keep an eye on. This stock, it's a good stock. I am involved in this personally. In the sense like I have traded the stock, so I have a position initiated on it. The next one, Perry Plastics. I think I'm going to remove this from the watch list, even though it did good today. It's still today it broke above. See, RSI kicked in. It's a stock which I'm liking, and I think it is going to break above this consolidation. But and the momentum has picked up RSI, which is a very good sign. The other one is Amazon. I'm in this personally, but I didn't come out of it yet. I could have come out of it today morning when it went like closer to what is it, 1009. That's not the aim, right? Even though I entered it around 997 or 998 or 999. It's not just for a few dollars. I'm expecting it to break out from here. Probably it'll break out and go to 1030 easily. It will happen. The reason is this is one of the key stocks that I'm watching out, which has a very good growth potential and down the line has tremendous way to grow using its AWS cloud services. And Amazon is trying to dominate the world. Um, the next one is Facebook. Facebook mm, today did break out actually to 157 from my entry of 152 or 153 something. 152 something or 153 it is. Yeah, I think I discussed it last week, but I'm still holding on to it. I want this to break out probably about, definitely about 158 for the short term. But if once it breaks up out of this range, right? It tried, but it failed. I'm expecting it to rally maybe furthermore to 160, maybe 164. And earning seasons are coming, coming up probably in a week or two. We will know. There is no better growth names out there. This is one of the names that you can actively participate in as well, apart from Amazon, if you do not want to purchase stocks which are very highly priced based on your investment amount that you're planning to put away. Just don't think because you can buy more shares or less shares that you won't do. Overall, it doesn't matter. In the end, if the other stock makes a powerful move, since it's a highly valued or like highly priced stock, it can make the same compensation uh, amount as well, even though you're getting less number of shares. Okay, so the next one is NetEase. This one got in and got out. I told you, anything that goes such on a such a makes a such a powerful move, I generally tend to come out of this. So what happened today? It did come down, but that's not the plan here for me to go and purchase this. I'm watching this. There's still a good stock. Watch for it for some more days. When I say some more days means what? 2, 3 more days, not just when it makes a move. Maybe tomorrow it will be up, but doesn't mean you have to get involved. Do not get involved. Wait for it to consolidate here. This is the area where we need to see consolidation, because if it was really a true breakout route, further continued upside, but it didn't happen. So it's better to watch this for a few more days. I'm sure it's going to just keep consolidating. It'll go slightly higher maybe, and it'll just keep consolidating. So we'll keep an eye on it. The more it consolidates, the better for us to enter in. The next one, unless the trend changes. Next one is Tesla. I'm eyeing this stock for some time. I think this will be a good stock to initiate a position, but you know, you don't need to buy the stock immediately. You can wait for it if it reaches somewhere around closer to 370, I believe 370, somewhere closer towards the 20-day moving average. That's what I'll suggest. So if it ever does that, right, somewhere around 367, watch for it and see how it behaves. Because I think it hit the overbought territory here and the RSI just weakened. So we do not know how it's going to react, right? So, and overall the QQQ when we observed did correct today, and that's also another reason why I'm sure all these momentum names went down. But watch for this area closer towards 364, see how it reacts if it comes to that point, and if it's holding on to it maybe for a day or two, do not end a day or two, probably the second day or so you can enter for another breakout. I'm expecting this to break out probably. Maybe it has the potential. It has the potential, but it did make a all-time high here around 386. I am sure this is a $400 stock because that's the way how these numbers work. Mostly they try to move towards a rounded number before consolidating or um, going down, breaking the trend to the downside. So I'm sure it has a potential, but at the same time, I don't want to chase the stock. So it'll be better to give it some more time. Mark an alert or set up an alert on stocks like these that where you want to purchase. That's the thing. Where you want to purchase these stocks and where you want to close. So if you are planning to swing, generally you have to hold for the long run, right? And probably when the trend turns down, you have to get out, which means if it's like less than 8 to 9% from where you entered, it's not an easy job. It's basically it's not really easy to manage all this stocks, but the more and the better you are at risk management, that's the best thing you can do. And that's why I always say, if you are not comfortable doing this, um, trade the ETFs that I spoke of in the um, last video, which is like VTI and G and Noble. And if you want some bond funds, there are some other funds, but I'm not interested in those. So these are the ones that you can trade in. If you see a good market correction or a good pullback, if you are not set up your systematic investment plan, the way I told, you can participate actively in the market as well. But this goes slowly, but the amount of return it gives you is like close to 8% return on an average, which is not a guarantee. But overall, when you do the systematic investment plan, this will be a good return still because of the power of compounding. Okay. Uh, let's go to lodging, China lodging. China lodging. This is a stock which I'm also actively watching. I'm watching for this area, how it's planning out right now. I'm going to watch this stock for a couple of more days. The RSI is picking up. I wanted to see some more consolidation in this one rather than breaking out. I wanted to consolidate, and probably by Friday or next week, I might initiate a position if I have some funding left. Okay, because I'm currently mostly focused towards the small caps. I want small cap ETF, so I want this sector to break out, and the stocks that I discussed, which I was holding, I'm still holding on to it. Apart from this, I wanted to go through another Chinese name, Baba. I have initiated this multiple times, and I think I have discussed that with you, and I've gotten and got out. Somewhere here, I've got out, and I purchased it somewhere around. I've played this multiple times, the stock, and the trend is still intact. It's still just consolidating here. So I'm expecting this to consolidate or break out to the top. It's a very good stock, and it's still holding up. The other one is this is a new stock, I think. I didn't discuss this before. Alarm. It's a small cap, um, but it can be very volatile at the same time. Not it's not an easy stock to play with. But the trend was up on the stock for some time, so I'm thinking of maybe taking a shot at this if it ever consolidates. But I'm not really a fan of the stock. But I'll just keep an eye on this as it's following all the rules that I have in picture, and there's no harm. But I wanted to consolidate more because I don't like to play stocks which are way further away from the 20-day. Like this could be closer to or more than 4%, maybe 4 to 3%. Um, I generally wanted to come closer towards the 20-day moving average before initiating a position on this. Maybe this could be a scalp rather than holding on to, because the moves that this stock makes is like too good. Like from 30, 34 to 36, that's like $2 move in a day. Oh, so it's better that if it can consolidate around this 36 region, 3660, can maybe see how it handles the support and take a position there. Other than that, I'm seeing this stock to be very positive. The other one is Payc. I have played this stock in the past and it's gaining momentum, but at the same time, I think this is extended quite a bit. Uh, so let's see how it reacts and consolidates here in this price range around 69. And the problem with this stock that I'm seeing is the volumes. The volumes are really drying up. So I'm not sure if this is a good sign too, because the real price action would have happened in this bar and somewhere around this bar. And the remaining bars I'm not bothered because not much volume is kicking in, like in terms of buying, and neither is selling happening. So if you see another day of volume picking up, think probably you might want to consider this. But at the same time, right now, I don't think you should consider it till it reaches somewhere around 69, back to 69, and see if volume kicks in. Because I want heavy volume to come in confirm that buyers are still in and more buyers are flooding in. Next stock is Viva Science. Viva Science is still holding the 20-day moving average, and this is a stock which I've been following for some time, and I've played it multiple times in the past also. The volume is there. Volume has picked up in multiple places, and volume has faded out also at the same time. So what I'm actually watching is this 20 area, how it reacts, and will we see a volume kicking in tomorrow? And a good thing is to wait for this 53, the RSI to trend up. If it is, then probably I would suggest initiating a position on this. Um, I believe the volume is fine so far. So for now, it's not like dead like how it is here. So I believe volume should be fine for the time being. And if we can get a good RSI bounce back, then I think you can initiate a position. And if it's above, if it is, let's see how it reacts in this range. If it can break out or not. If it's further consolidation, I think this is a good price to enter in around 62 or 61.80. The other one I want to go was Stamp. This is a stock which I initiated a position today, and this is a name which I initiated the position somewhere around what is today's low. Today's low is 148, so I initiated it around 149.90, slightly above the low and all, but it's above my buying price, so I'm expecting this to break out. Basically, the reason is volume. Even though there were down days, the volume did kick in and push it to the upside. Look at the number of green bars. Doesn't mean that green bars always means that it's all the people involved in purchasing itself. It could be the shorts getting squeezed also. So looking at this, I believe it's going to break out to the upside. And today it made a new 52-week high, right? So probably it can consolidate, but it has consolidated enough in my opinion. And I think it has a potential to break out maybe to 155 and then to 160. The RSI is slightly getting overbought. It doesn't matter actually. A stock can be in overbought territory for as long as it wants to. So let's see how it plans out. As long as the supply and demand also is there. If there is no demand, we cannot be sure like if the holders are going to, close down on their position. But this is a stock position which I initiated today. The other Chinese company which I'm watching out is there are quite a few Chinese companies that are actually participating in this market. This is another one. Um, this is a good stock to initiate a position in right now. Volume has kicked in. This is a good sign, but at the same time, I think I wanted to see this furthermore. It doesn't matter if you buy it at even slightly higher price. It doesn't really matter because the reason why I think I'm not feeling much confidence about this is I want this RSI to pick up. I want it to pick up above 50 for sure. It is slightly above 50, but I still want to see furthermore improvements on the RSI. If there is a momentum with the stock, definitely it will go higher. So I think that's it for now, folks. I think for any additional information, I'll create some separate videos, but these are just for stock picks for tomorrow, which is Tuesday. All right, guys. Until next time, talk to you guys later. Bye.